Hey everybody, if you followed the journey of ZandGEmporium over the past few years, you've seen quite a few changes, and just want an update on how the business is doing because we moved across country, kind of started over again, and just want to dive into how we're doing with the amount of cards, what we're doing here process-wise, operations. So if you're looking for just how the business is doing, this is what this video is. It's not really applying to anybody else or how to run a business. It's just me talking about how our business is doing. So we reopened the business in the beginning of July. It was about 30 days or so that the entire operation was closed completely. So that was, in and of itself kind of scary because you just disappear for, a month and you hope people remember, that you provide that. Luckily, people did, so that was great. There's always that fear with you just shut down and people just use some other service and then they just go with them. A lot of services honestly are just very sticky. People go with somebody and it's like, well, that's easy. They do it. Maybe I can get something faster or cheaper or whatever it is. I'm not talking about just consignment. I'm talking about anything in life. A lot of people use certain companies, certain credit cards, certain, people who do landscaping. I'm talking about like anything. And, maybe there is somebody better out there, but they're in the system. They come routinely, they do it. And people just say like, nah, that's just the guy I use, right? So when you shut down your business for a certain amount of time, that kind of stickiness can go away and hopefully the people stay. So that was just something that was always in the back of our minds. But I was pretty confident the way we introduced higher payouts and really brought in fixed price, kind of brought something new instead of just reopening. It was the same old thing. Really, hopefully excite people to use it, and definitely did. So the first week we came back, we had like 800-ish. It was 800. I don't know the exact amount, but I know the first number was an 8, so it was 800 something. That was the first week, and that was a great start. Usually, our range, before that was usually like, I don't know, between 700 and like 1400 was kind of like the higher range. Now there have been really slow weeks. You're talking like 500 or 400 something. Have been really heavy weeks. The most we've ever had in a single week was about 2,800 cards in a single week. That was the middle of December of last year. So that was quite the week. But 800 is really good for coming back and reintroducing everything. And the next week, which is the auctions that are going right now, was 1,100. So that was a nice 300 card jump. There aren't 1,100 auctions because, we started getting a fixed price, like over 100 fixed price items. And then this week, which the stuff hasn't gone up yet, but we've opened all the boxes and we've scanned all the cards and now they're just, getting the titles to upload. But that's a little over 1,400. So another 300 card jump. And granted, once again, those aren't all auctions, but it's just total new cards coming in as at 1,400. So 800, 1,100, 1,400. That's a lot. And, some of you might be asking, when you moved, when I moved, we had to let go of 2 our full-time employees, and that was a lot. That was a big deal. That was a big pain point of moving, because that was a huge thing to be able to shed those 2 guys who really put a lot into this, and they really ran it. I was kind of just kind of doing payouts and coming in every once in a while, but they kind of ran it. So to get 800, 1,100, 1,400, we did get somebody else in here. I don't know if he, wants his name out there or whatever. So, but it is somebody who is coming in to do shipping. He actually came in this week, worked 2 days. He's part-time. He works another job as well. So, but over 2 days span, he was able to ship like 90% of our shipments this week for the, this auctions that ended. So he's done this before. He's in the industry. A lot of his other job is just shipping So he was just totally an all-star in that. So I believe we had like, I don't know, over 400 orders, and he probably did 300 and, I don't know, 60 of them or something like that. And I just finished it up tonight. It's Thursday. So yeah, and then go to the post office on Friday and ship those out. So we do have something else in here. This is going to be, it's like this week, every week is going to be hopefully a little easier, unless it keeps ratcheting up every week, and then it's just going to be still busy. But, this week, we got somebody new in, and he learned the system and learned, where everything is. And, you got to get the process down, but he was very quick. But, there was that, and we had to, we were installing the cameras. Now we already had cameras outside. We had cameras inside, for security on the actual cages. We had other things that we had to do around the house and get fixed up. But yeah, I had to scan everything, and Zach, our employee that I've mentioned before many times, he does the titling and stuff and uploading. So he still did that. But this week was very busy because a lot of it too is that our daughter is not in school yet until the mid of August. So next week we're gonna have a babysitter come in and gonna help watch her, and then Lauren can come and hopefully not just, we don't have to work every single night, which is what we've been doing. Hopefully I'll give her a few hours to maybe come down here and pull orders and help with the other processes that she's doing, and then we'll give me more flexibility with, if I have to work at night, I can do other stuff and catch up instead of just being like, I like to, in this job, like once it gets to like end of Thursday, all of Friday, kind of work on the next week, opening boxes, that'll go into the next week, and sorting all that and inventorying, and get a heads up on the payout structure, because everything is paid out on Mondays, but really you want to, once everything's shipped, you can run the reports on Friday and get everything set up so that Monday's not just chaotic. So I like to get ahead, but right now it's just not that time where you can really get ahead. So the next week we'll have a babysitter so we can get some of that relieved. The next week, gonna get someone in here to, I don't know if I really want to say that person's name either, but going to come in here to help scan the cards. So that'll be good. That'll take stuff off my plate, and then I can work more on shipping, because shipping is going to get a lot more, because we're going to have 800, 1100, 1400, right? That's just a lot more shipping. So then I can help with that. And then the next week after that, my daughter goes to school. She loves school, so that's amazing. I'm glad she can go back there. She's all excited to make friends. She made a lot of friends, made more friends already than I ever have. A lot more social than I am. So she's going to be excited for that. And then that's going to release, hours every single day that, we can really focus on that, and hopefully not spend time at night and spend time together with, Lauren, just, hanging out instead of working. But that's just, this is being a business owner. Stuff happens. You got to adjust and, rebuild kind of the employees here and the structure and how to, get the routine down and everything. But it's coming together. Every week should be a little easier, unless, we keep going up 300 cards a week. Then it's going to be, it's just going to still be busy until we keep getting that equilibrium. It's never easy to scale a business. It just never is. You're going to have either too much work and not enough time, or you're going to have too little work and too much time, and then that too little work is not going to pay the bills, so then you're stressed, or then you have too much work and then you're also stressed. You're just always kind of stressed, unless you kind of get into a good rhythm and have a lot of help there. But it just takes a while to scale properly, and we're kind of back on that hill, climbing that and trying to get back to that form on being good at scaling. So what else? So of those 800, 1100, 1400 cards, and we'll see this week, we have a whole lot of boxes. None of them are like super heavy, kind of like, if some box is like really heavy, it's like, oh, that's probably like 200 something cards, and that really is a big chunk. The biggest thing I've noticed is that we're getting a lot of people, a lot of individuals. Just to put this in perspective, we average like between 30 to like 40 people a week. That's what we've averaged over the past, like, say, year, that can sign with us, every week. And our biggest week, like I said, was like 2,800 cards in December, and that was only like 38 people. Now, when you have something like that, a lot of people are just liquidating stuff. It's like we have a person who just sends us 500 cards, or a person that sends us 1,000 cards, right? It's happened multiple times, and that kind of balloons those numbers, way higher because someone's just liquidating. They have a lot of either junk slabs, or they have an entire huge collection. They're just like, I want those all auctioned, or now we do fixed price, and it's just like, I want these prices, and just list them all and sell them. But we had in the 40s for the first week. Then we had like 50 or 48 people, which was, I believe, a record. And then we had 51 people this week that's coming up this Sunday for auctions. So we're having a record amount of people actually try the business, which when I said at the beginning of the video, stickiness is a big thing in this. You create a good impression, you make it extremely simple. Whatever process you're doing, whatever kind of service you're doing, whatever kind of business you're doing, make it extremely simple and make it really easy. And it's just do all the work, and then you send them the money. They're going to stick. They're going to come back. So there's a whole lot of people coming in. And while it's not like people liquidating 500, 300, 800 cards at once, it's a whole lot of 20 cards, 30 cards, 5 cards, 8 cards, and it's a lot of people testing the waters. And it's pretty exciting because, you get a whole lot of people, they're going to start snowballing, right? They're going to submit later, and somebody else is going to submit, and they're going to tell their friends. It's a lot of people, and it's 1,400 is not, 1,400 is like a top 10% week for us in the past. If you look at like the past, I don't know, 52 weeks, right? The past year. It's like a top 10% week. That's in terms of like volume. So the amount of people that are using us is pretty exciting. We have I'm pretty excited to see where this goes, because like I said, out of those 1,400, there's nobody. I think the biggest guy was like 200, and then the second biggest guy was like I don't even know if there's another guy that had 100, maybe like 80. So it's not somebody liquidating. It's not someone just sending 500 or 800 or 1,200 cards, and then you have a few other people. It's just a volume of people. So that's pretty exciting, and we'll see where it goes from there. Like I said, I think I just counted, we had 29 boxes. It's Thursday, so we still have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for stuff to come in for the next week. I mean, we'll probably we'll see what comes in. You never know with this business what's going to actually arrive, but have almost 30 already, and you're a little past halfway through the week. There's a lot of opportunity out there. And like I've said before to people, like we sold 2,000 items last year. PSA alone grades or PSA, CGC, and there's all these grading companies grade like 600,000 cards a month in TCG. I'm not even talking about sports. I'm just talking TCG. So there's an entire huge still market out there. And, people are grading 600,000 cards a month. I would venture to guess, and maybe I'm wrong, 90% of those are flips. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe 50% are PC. I just doubt. People who grade, and the power graders, people who are like really submitting a whole lot of stuff, they're resellers, right? Or they're selling and they're trying to make a flip or a profit. They're not submitting all this stuff for PC. So there's a whole lot of opportunity for people who want to actually have a service that people can sell for them, and then they just get the money and they just do the buying, right? Which is the most fun part, right? And they just want to buy instead of selling. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. You talking about any issues? It's just kind of setting up the flow of the workspace. We gotta set that up. There's things here and there. Just kind of figure out what's the best way to workflow compared to the last office. There's that, but that'll come in time. That's just a process thing. The post office, the first drop off, they really didn't like me there. Yeah. So we just always dropped off our stuff. Remember, we sent 60,000 60,000 cards, but that was probably, 50,000 packages, 65 or 62, whatever. It was like close to 50,000 packages that we, dropped off to our previous post office. And we never gave a like manifest. We never gave like a piece of paper that they just scanned that and it scanned all the packages. Um, One, because they just never asked. So I was like, okay. And two, I mean, I kind of like the idea of them scanning each package because you could just they just scan that and hopefully it's in there, right? Where you physically get each one scanned, but whatever. They never asked. And they had like at most two people working that entire post office in the back and front, of the clerk and the back. So, and they accepted it. They just got it and they just got it done. This place had been a first drop off and it was probably, I don't know, 200 packages. And they were like, you need to speak with someone. And spoke with someone. And this woman was trying to give me like, you need to give a manifest. And this is, which is strange because this post office has 8 clerks apparently and 40 people working at this post office. And yet they were like kind of flabbergasted that I would give them 200 packages at once and not give them a manifest to actually scan so that, their job was easier. And she was trying to make it like it's helping me out, for like tracking. And I was like, this is not helping me out. This is just making me do more work. But, it's going to force us to do a different way of shipping because, we've always ever done just because we really want to make sure all controls are in place and everything is checked once, twice, 3 times that a card isn't going to the wrong person. As I've only ever done printing out one label at a time, which might seem crazy to people, but that's just the way we've always done it. Always gotten everything out on time. It's never been an issue for us. But we're gonna have to start doing the bulk shipping thing, where you actually click all the items, you print out, 200 labels at once, 300 labels at once. You got to do all the weights and all the things, and then you take all those labels and then you match them to the actual. So it's a new process, and I hope when I drop off another 200 something packages tomorrow, they're like, "Why aren't you having?" I'm like, "You're gonna have to take okay, give me a break. You're changing our entire process here and how to ship items, something we've shipped for years now, to a post office that was 1/10 your size and the amount of people workforce, and they were able to get it done anyway." But you can't do that. You can't complain to the post office because they're the ones that handle all this stuff. So you got to keep them on your side. Come in, bring them cupcakes. We've already brought them cupcakes. So, yeah. Plus, I got to, they see it's from ZandGEmporium on the package. There's no way 40 people are going to go through that and see all these packages from ZandGEmporium and not Google this is. Which, is always also like so many people back there is also a little concerning. It's like, somebody sees like, whoa, this guy sells Pokemon, go to eBay, and then they see like all these sold prices of cards that are thousands of dollars. And, so that's not ideal, but it's just the way it is. I mean, I just got to keep having a good relationship with them and just realize that, 99% of people are just normal, good people. And, they're not going to do anything like that. And luckily have insurance and all that stuff. And that's not something consigners have to worry about because once it's paid, you get the money. It's something I have to deal with on the back end, but that's just something we have to always keep your eye out for with the shipping stuff. So there's that. Gonna have to deal with that, and then what else? Now that we're 19 minutes in, there's 10 people left. What do you want to hear about? Just some very little nuanced stuff that nobody thinks about. What else people don't think about who like do this volume? Oh, carpets. Got to get some rugs around. You guys don't realize every single office we've had carpeted floors, and this one has like this like vinyl. Don't want to have vinyl. Don't want to have tile. Don't want to have wood. Don't want to have anything hard on the ground when you're dealing with the cards because inevitably you will drop cards, especially dealing with this volume. Everybody does it. Everybody doesn't matter how careful you are, you will drop a card, a few cards. I won't say the volume. I don't know, maybe a few a month. I don't know. You're going to drop them. And when it hits the floor, it better hit carpet. Better not hit something hard because these things are acrylic. They can break, and then all of a sudden, you're gonna have to go back to the consignor and say, hey, sorry, I dropped it, I cracked it, I'll pay you out, whatever. That's never happened because we've always had carpet. The only thing that I could think of that kind of maybe happened was, you know, those old CGC cases that kind of split in two. We were scanning a card and then we flipped it. It was a metal Charizard, like CGC, I don't know, 8 or something. The celebration Charizard, I don't know, it's like a 50, 60, or I don't know what it was at the time. It's a dollar card. Flipped it over and it just split in half. It just opened. So yeah, I just paid out the consignor what the market value was of it. I resubmitted it. I think I resubmitted to PSA. I got a PSA 8, I think. I got a PSA 9. I got a PSA 8. And just sold it for about what I had paid out the consignor. It was, you know, minus the grading fee. So probably lost some money, but whatever. That was the only time that happened. But, you know, we dropped something. It's just, everybody's going to drop something. It's just, you know, you're dealing with this many cards. It's just going to happen. So got to get some kind of carpet around all the desks and the areas to eliminate, you know, when that inevitably happens. You got to do that. Also with this one, you know, this office just has stairs, which is kind of, it's a lot more work. The previous office actually had an elevator. I showed you guys in a video. So I could just wheel out the stuff in a bin, go up the elevator, and then go to the office. That's in a stairs, so it doesn't have a bin. So it's like a lot of trips because you got to just carry everything, you know, and then carrying stuff back up to go to the post office, carrying big bags, and I don't know. It's not ideal compared to that other office in terms of transporting the stuff. And you just, once again, something you don't really think about when you think about, you know, an office is like stairs or rugs, or, you know, it's just the little stuff that, you know, doing this for a while, you know, you don't really realize. So yeah, I'm sure there's other things that I'm forgetting, and I'll do another video in a couple months or something when I update again. But that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.